usually about this podcast, I would like just to mention it. What we really like is to unfold the personality behind that microphone. And I know there is so much that you can share that is a big wisdom for bartender out there. You have so much experience, and the people watching out there, they really like need something more, to feel inspired to or keep going or to upgrade their games. So I'm sure that today you're gonna drop us some really important wisdom point of view.
Yeah, this is my 23rd year behind the bar, so I've been around the way. I still like to think I look young, but
You do.
tell that to my back and my knees, okay?
We all
they
have that problem.
Yeah, they don't. They're every second of the 42 years I've been on Earth. But
Wow, 42.
yeah,
Can't
no,
believe it.
I've been around, and I've worked a lot of different styles of bars as well. And I've kind of started during the tail end of the disco shot era and the flair bartender stuff, and then moved into dive bars, high volume, and then of course cocktail places. And my career has sort of had a parallel journey with the actual bar industry. It started when I started.
Yeah.
And now, as I'm growing, I get to see the industry kind of grow. I saw a lot of trends come, a lot of trends go. Seen a lot of bartenders come, a lot of bartenders go, a lot of bartenders grow into their own, become masters in their own right.
Yeah. One of the things that really took my attention is your sense to the discipline.
Yeah.
And I think that is coming from the fact that you are a former Marine.
Yes.
So would you like to tell us a little bit how everything started and how you swift into bartending at some point?
So I was, again, I grew up right here, Bergen County, New Jersey, which is just 5 miles to the left over here. And I was a senior in high school during 9/11, and which was a block away from here, yeah. So it really changed the country and changed the world, really. And I was a senior. I was class clown in high school, but I was an athlete as well. And I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So as soon as that kind of tragedy happened, I sort of signed up for the military. So I joined the Marines right there. Graduated high school, that June, and then went right over to training. When I was in then, you have, it's like a 9-to-5 job, the Marines, when you're in. Every now and then you have to go on deployment, or go out in training and stuff. But when you're like on a base, on a station, you show up, it's just the same thing, except instead of a suit, you're wearing the camouflage. So then you have nights free. So I walked by a bar that said help wanted, and let me tell you something about a junior Marine. We don't make much money. So, and we spend a lot of money.
In what?
I don't know how, yeah. So this bar said help wanted. It was like a live music venue, high volume, in Georgetown, Washington, D.C. And I just, I got the job there, cleaning up toilets, beating up Georgetown kids, and eventually worked my way up to bartender. And
when you felt it was the moment, it's like, this is it. I want to be a bartender.
Well, when I got discharged from the military, I had a head injury, which is well documented out there. And I was trying to heal up. So when I was healing, I was bartending. And it was the only thing that really made me happy, It's tough when like you're in the middle of a conflict, a global conflict, and you're a Marine and you have friends that you've trained with, and a lot of them, weren't as fortunate as me to like, to come out with their lives. You know what I mean? And some people I saw in the hospital with missing legs, and some people I knew, and this stuff, it sticks with you. It's kind of wild, and I don't want to make it all depressing, but when I was behind a bar, I forgot all that for a little bit, and I didn't want to go back to school, that wasn't for me. So I had to get discharged, and I was pretty good at bartending. The idea of working with people for a common goal, I thought was really awesome. The idea of being in sort of the behind the bar felt like a little bit of a fighting hole, and you're fending off the thirsty customers, And back then too, I had a head injury. Back then there was no you didn't see much micros, POS, or computers. It was all up here, 3 drinks, 2 shots, 4 beers. It was like you had to memorize all these prices and write everything down on a tab, and a lot of cash. So you had to just like constantly be working your brain. And Whether it helped me heal or not, I don't know, but I'd like to say it does. Just anecdotally, I don't know the science behind it, but just working with my head and trying to remember recipes and remember orders and prices and stuff, that kind of helped me, I think, sort of heal. You know, I was
From
in the
where
hospital for like 3 years doing brain rehab, you know, doing these memory tests and taking all these like pills and stuff that are supposed to help me like with my condition. Wasn't for me. So I just feel like happiness was this first step of like recovery, you know?
you find your own way to recover yourself.
Yeah, I think so. I like to think so. Maybe it was a combination of everything, but
Well, after all you've done, I mean, you've done
yeah.
quite well.
Yeah, but you know, there's a lot of parallels. You have to be disciplined to be a bartender, you know? You have to be tough mentally as well. People can be hard, you know? People be hard to deal with. Situations could be hard to deal with. You're on your feet, you know, many hours. For me, it's like there's an aspect of what we do that's, you know, artistic, and then there's like an aspect that's like, you know, mixing science, you know, chemistry or whatever.
The two things combined together.
But for me, it's my favorite is the athletics of bartending. I find it to be like my style of bartending, and the style of bars that I like to work is more like an athlete. You know, you have to be able to move and be on your feet, and the faster you go, you know, the better you are.
Yes,
And,
yeah.
and all the drinks you make, it's like that you're scoring points, you know.
You are on a speed round.
Yeah, exactly. You're scoring points, and you try to fill the register as much as you can, and that's like at the end, that's your score, you know, and then that's how much money you make. Especially here in the States, it's a lot different too with tips, you know, and back then too, a lot of cash tips, you know.
But you started, but when you started with the idea, this is gonna be my profession, or it was like just let me have a look around, because
you know,
in my head there is two different things. It's like being a bartender just to make money and pay the rent, and then be a bartender as we've been living it. And how you felt it back then?
Well, a couple things happened. First, pretty much the first shift I ever worked, I thought I could do a better job than what the owner was doing.
But this is a good point to start.
Yo, I still smell that bar every time I pass like a certain type of bar. I smell the old beer. So that was one thing. No, but honestly, it was as romantic as it sounds. It would be like, oh, it's just I was behind the bar and it changed my life. It was like, yo, I wanted some money because you know, I was in the military. I didn't have much money. And it was a good way to meet people, you know what I mean?
Yes. But I think that's what it is. It sounds romantic in its own way, you know.
Yeah,
like,
and like a lot of people my age at the time, you kind of settle into this job. You know, you find it, you have it, you enjoy it, and then you look at the real jobs in your life, and you're like, I don't want to do any of that, you know.
Yeah.
So when I got discharged from the military, all I had was my bar job, and I was like, I really like this. But what I lacked, I think, was mentorship, you know? Because, like, you know, the people I was surrounded by, they were all just, like, they were just bartenders, clock in, clock out. They were just doing it for money, and that's it. There was no real passion, I'd say, behind it. So when I got out, I was involved in this speed bartending competition down in Washington, D.C., and I won it a few times. And that's the first time I got a taste of real money, because it was, like, cash prizes back then, too. And I was in all sorts of debt, because another thing when you're in the military, you got a steady paycheck, so the bank gives you a credit card, and it's like a $500 max, you know, and then it go to 1,000, and then 10,000, 20,000. Before you know it, you know, you're in huge debt with a massive interest rate, and you know, that's a tough feeling where you make a payment on something, the minimum payment, and then your balance is the same the next month, you know?
Yes.
It's like, what the fuck?
What am I doing?
Yeah. It's like fighting in quicksand, you know? So when I won these competitions, the first time I got a taste of like real money, you know? Bought a car, straight cash, you know?
How much you won?
Probably total around $15,000, which at the time, you know, this was 20 years ago. It was a lot.
Wow.
I bought a car. I bought a 1993 Mazda Miata convertible. I got rear-ended 3 times in 4 months. I ended up leaving the fucker on Canal Street, never seeing it again. But that's a different story for a different day. But the fact is that I finally was able to like pay some debt and get some money and stuff.
He will
in this
give you
business.
even some pride, you know, like
Yeah.
I can do this with
Well,
my
and
skill.
the thrill of competition again. When I talked about athletics, you know, the competition itself was whatever, but you know, you take that stuff into your job, and it's like, wait, the more drinks I make, the more money I'm making. So you just hustle and hustle and hustle, but still lacked the mentorship. Young kid, loaded with talent, and then I met this guy named John. John Hogan was his name. He had worked down in Washington D.C. He was from Annapolis, Maryland, and he was the first adult I met that like did this for a living. And he was like in his 30s, you know. But for me, that was an adult. When
He
you're
was a
20
bartender.
He was a bartender.
He was a bartender.
He was an adult bartender that was like doing things, you know, with fresh ingredients and flair and like spherification and all the foams and all that stuff, you know.
Yes.
Yeah. This was 2005, 6, you know, and he was my first, I'd say, mentor, and he kind of sparked the idea of like using fresh ingredients and doing this as a career. So that kind of gave me sort of like, hey, this guy can do it. This is great, you know.
Can be for life.
Yeah, maybe I can do this because I was having a lot of fun. I loved the job, but I still didn't know what I wanted to do, you know. So then this was Washington, D.C. I got discharged, won these competitions. I'm from here, like I said. I decided I wanted to come back home. And I took the first job I can get, which was in Hoboken, New Jersey, birthplace of Frank Sinatra.
Yes.
And baseball.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think I took Stefano from maybe Sammy,
You took him there.
maybe Frank. Yeah, I think I took him to Hoboken.
Next time you need to take
or
me
I
there.
told him about it. I don't know if we actually went, but I gave him the address. So I don't know. Maybe Stefano can message me, let me know. It was so long ago, I don't remember. Yeah, so I got the first job I can get, and like I was running drink programs there at a place called the Elysian Cafe.
Okay.
It was like it's one of the oldest bars in Hoboken, and right next to where the first game of baseball was ever played.
Oh wow.
And I was like making my own ginger beer and using fresh ingredients and like
So you start to apply your knowledge to
yeah. And
whatever
but I
it
was
was
still
you're
young, and I
discovered.
didn't really have lacking proper mentorship like on a day-to-day basis. I'd fucking bartend, leave my station a mess, you know, just a little bit foul mouth, you know.
What has been your takeaway from the military that you brought into the bartending world that it really helped you to develop who you are today?
Well, I think what made me sort of excel in the military was obviously I was in really good shape. Was my sense of humor. It really just it carries me through life. It's how I handle anything stressful, really. The more I joke, probably the more crazy I'm thinking upstairs, you know, the more pressure I'm under.
Yes.
And it's that not taking things too seriously, doing what you got to do, that everything is funny to me. Everything, pretty much.
But it has to be.
Yeah, it has to be.
It has to
Everything,
be.
especially when you're dealing with, you know, just like training, people yelling in your face. It's like, it's so bizarre, you know?
Yes, yeah.
It's like during basic training, they would just tell you straight up, you know, stand up. You'd be like, sir, yes, sir. Sit down, sir, yes, sir. Stand up, sir. And it's like just testing your mental things. And people who like,
Answering back.
yeah, they'll answer back or they can't handle it. For me, it was like, this is funny. Like, you know, oh, you want me to stand up? I'm going to stand up, motherfucker. Watch this. Yeah,
Yes.
you know, I'm going to out crazy you right now.
Yes.
So that was the first step. But then obviously, you know, you grow up quick when you're in the military. And again, we call it esprit de corps, which is basically rah-rah pride for what you're doing, you know? The Marine Corps, we have we love our Marine Corps, you know.
The Marine Corps, yes.
And that's you know, and your fellow Marines, you know, they're your family, and we love everything about the history of it. It's just like it's so. We kind of make fun of each other for it when we're in. We call each other moat when you're overly motivated.
Okay,
Right there, like when you get like a Marine tattoo when you're in. It's like,
Okay.
look at this guy's fucking moat tattoo, you know? It's like kind of getting a bar spoon tattoo.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. But
I like the parallelism
yeah,
in between the
exactly.
two.
Yeah. So it's like,
Or the cocktail glass.
yeah. It's like it's moat. Yeah. You love what you're doing, the esprit de corps. But then when you get out, that becomes kind of you kind of miss that. You're kind of more moat when you get out than when you're in.
Yeah.
But that level of pride and camaraderie, I think, for me, coupled with my sense of humor, it really helped me excel in the bar world. Because bars are funny, bars are fun, bars are weird, bars are crazy.
Yeah.
Bars can also be, super classy, bars can also be artistically amazing. There's so many things that bars can be, you have to use your imagination.
It's a stage, and whoever is behind is making what he wanted to make it.
And you're only limited to your own imagination when it comes to hospitality, when it comes to creating a great bar, when it comes to creating experiences, when it comes to anything, really. It's all about imagination. And I think being able to be in a military setting for so long and being able to assess different problems and situations in certain ways on a logical way, but then also taking that humoristic aspect into the bar world where now you're allowed to be more creative and like
you take it to the next level.
Yeah, but bartending is problem solving too,
Yes.
There's so many problems happen throughout the day that you have to fix.
Throughout the night.
Yeah,
as well.
Exactly. There's a lot of things you have to create and be on your toes and think critically. You have to be able to just use your head to solve problems, and that's kind of what I do on a daily basis now.
What is the thing that you like the most about being a bartender?
I mean,
don't get me wrong, you are an entrepreneur, mega entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You do so many things, but I know your DNA and the way how you talk. You are so proud.
Well, it's really, for me, it's the camaraderie. It's one thing I learned during COVID. Is like I was in New York for most of it, then I went to Singapore for a large portion of it too. And we couldn't have, we could only have two people in at a time, and they have to be 6 feet apart. And we weren't allowed to play music. It was like complete silence, and just 2 people here, 2 people there. And it was so depressing, not because business was hard. It's just because that energy and that vibe I miss so much. That high volume atmosphere, that the letting, the music, the ice clinging and clanging back and forth, all that shit talking going on. The laughter, the toasts, the little sounds. You didn't hear any of that. All you heard was just like it was just quiet and dead. So it wasn't the act of making a drink for me. It wasn't as important as making the drink in that atmosphere. So for me, the post-COVID version of me is I'm very big on the atmosphere. I was before, but now I'm even more big on the atmosphere. And I just think the world is shifting in that way where it's just the atmosphere, the vibe, the lighting, how the bartenders carry themselves. It's much, much more important than it ever was. It used to be, hey, cheap drinks,
Just go, yeah.
Whatever the fuck. But now it's a lot different. So that camaraderie, man, working next to bartenders and with that energy, fending off the guests, that for me is my favorite aspect of what we do.
And can I say, from my point of view,
Mm-hmm.
like I really see when you talk about bartending and you talk about what you're doing, what you've been doing, I feel like you talk like with a sense of pride, like it's a family. You are really Italian because you feel like a family in what you're doing.
Let me in the group chat, guys. I got one vote.
I approve it. I approve it.
From Don Luca.
Stefano, it's down to you. It's down to you now, Stefano, okay?
No, but thank you. Yeah, I mean,
you make a kind of sense of family with a lot of people around you.
Yeah,
like the people that are really close to you.
I don't take for granted the moments that we share. It's important to me. I've lost a lot of friends along the way. I like to cherish all the moments I spend with people.
I feel
not everybody, obviously, but most people. That I
Yes.
share the bar with. It's important because I feel like we have a common bond. We've worked together. That means a lot to me. Like colleagues mean a lot.
Yes.
I was always, I always had a good group of friends. Like when I grew up right here in Jersey, still close friends. I still see them all the time.
The closest one.
Yeah. And I just always grew up with that, I guess, with that gene where I'm I'm extroverted. I like to be around people. I like, there's a lot of introverted bartenders, which is fine. A lot of times the introverted bartenders, they really make like amazing drinks as well, because they do their talking with the drinks,
It's their way to express.
Yeah, their way to express themselves. So you'll see a lot of introverted bartenders can be really amazing drink makers. For me, I love the social aspect of bars and working and drinking and telling the same stupid jokes every night.
Yeah, I love it.
Working
I
with
love
the
just to be
team too, and to see people grow. I mean, this is another military thing, I guess. But you start from the bottom, you work your way up, and you don't start as a bartender. You start as a barback, and you learn the business from the back, and then you grow up.
Yeah.
And you've been in the business long enough. You see bartenders grow from junior bartenders, from barbacks to junior bartenders to senior bartenders to bar managers to head bartenders to bar owners. And it's just really cool to watch, especially when the good ones start, make it big.
Yes. Yeah.
Like guys like Lorenzo.
Yes, it's wonderful.
Yeah, it just makes me so happy because from the old Savoy days.
He started as a barback. I remember the first week he was in London. We were hanging around, and we were talking like, I just arrived, fresh out of the boat.
Those were the days when he had hair. I remember that, Lorenzo. I have photos. I have photos with you to prove it.
Yes.
And now, no, just to be one of his peers and to see him do such amazing things in Hong Kong. Well, before that, Korea, before that, London. It's just super awesome to me.
And I think everything is as well because we have a dream.
Yeah.
You have your dream, and I guess you have your dream that you share it a lot with one person, and his name is Shingo, right? He's a really good friend of yours. I remember first time I was in New York in my life, you picked me up from somewhere, I don't remember where, and then we went to Bacchanalia to see Naren.
Yeah.
Yes. And then the second place you took me was like, we need to go and see Shingo.
Yeah.
That's it. And then from the moment it was like, I love those two guys. I love them. I love them so much.
Shingo and I, we share a lot together. We share a lot of common ideologies as well when it comes to this business. But like, we couldn't be any more different as far as people, like on a daily basis, Shingo and I are the same age. We were born in the same year. He was running the bar at Angel Share when I was at Employees Only. And back then, there wasn't many cocktail bars. There was only a few. Angel Share obviously was like the oldest one that we knew of. And then there was Milk and Honey, Flatiron Lounge had opened, and then Employees Only opened, and then Pegu Club. Around there, like it was like we were like the fourth oldest bar. And then after Pegu Club, it was like PDT and Death & Co. opened shortly after that. And a handful of other places. But it was like I could count the cocktail bars with my two hands. And Bacardi decided to do a legacy competition in the States, first ever year. And it was an invite-only thing. And Juan Coronado invited everybody over from each cocktail bar. And there was not many of us. And at this time, it wasn't like an on stage, you give a presentation. It was just a table. And you had your drinks, and they walked around, like almost like it was a trade show. Shingo was across from me, and first time I saw him or met him, and he just looked really cool. And he was in there with his Angel Share crew, looking sharp in a suit. Me, I had the jacket and the mustache and the hammer, and I was crushing ice like an idiot, which Shingo will tell you. He just thought I was the craziest motherfucker there. I had the damn canvas bag on the floor, crushing that ice thing, making this crushed ice cocktail. And no one had seen something like that before at the time. It was funny. And we didn't see each other for another year. We both didn't win. Some guy from fucking Painkiller won, Rob, which I don't even know what happened to him, but...
He's gone.
I don't know what happened to Rob, but he was
in the
awesome.
Hudson River.
No. No, he was a great bartender, Rob was.
Okay.
But then we didn't see each other for another year. We saw each other again the following year, and we just gave each other a hug, and then that's when Shingo won the whole thing. And he didn't even know to speak English really at the time. But
he won the Bacardi Legacy.
Yeah, he won the whole thing. And he didn't speak English really at the time. But we just kind of had this weird sort of connection, respect for each other. So he won the whole thing, and I went and brought him after he won the Angel Share. I gifted him a hammer, a custom-made hammer that I made, and then he ended up the following year. I finished second place, and he judged me, and he tells me I should have won, but hey, I'm like, yo, you
Yeah,
judged. You
yeah.
won. Yeah, I know there's more
Help
than
me
one judge,
out.
but but I finished second place. But my presentations were always very entertaining and very over the top. I took the bar competition presentations always to another level, because for me that was the performance aspect of it was really funny to me and really cool. I felt like a freaking professional wrestler, you know?
Just jump in and
Yeah,
do
man,
your
and just
stuff.
like, just being able to speak on a stage in front of people is something that I really enjoyed. It was fun. And but my presentations were so good that Bacardi had asked me um to represent the US in a lot of these like events, like, hey, we're doing a Bacardi legacy thing. Do you want to go to Russia to do a shift with Shingo and Chris Moore and Daniele Dalla Pola and all these guys. And I was like, of course. So Shingo and I would be doing guest shifts next to each other a lot. And it was just a certain type of magic that we had.
A
That,
click.
oh, Steven Shingo's over there. And then, Shingo's a really funny guy. He understands my humor. I feel like he's the only person that really understands me. I don't know why, but he does. And we just always really just got along and had a nice contrast of styles. And he moved to Shanghai. I moved to Singapore. He moved to Shanghai 1 year before I moved to Singapore. So we were in the same neighborhood. Sort of, again, had a parallel career, building our own sort of, portfolio of bars. And then
Because at the time, how many bars you had?
at that time, before the Odd Couple opened, let's see, it was 1, 2, 3, 3, almost 4. I had the two places in Singapore, a place in Panama, and then I was purchasing the place in New Jersey, the place I used to work at over here, Elysian
Okay.
Cafe. But during this time, I saw the Captain America movie where he fights Iron Man,
Yeah.
and I was like, I like this whole super team idea. It's like, let me open a bar with Shingo. So I asked Shingo. I remember I was judging a flair bartending competition at the Hard Rock in Singapore. It was during like Singapore Cocktail Week, and Shingo came in, and I was like, I gave him this bright idea. A little bit of a backstory: I would be traveling from Singapore to New York to Panama, back here, and I would always fly through Shanghai. And I would always have like a 5-hour, 6-hour layover. And
Connection
the flight
flight.
was so long. I would travel every couple months. I would travel from bar to bar to bar. So I was like, if I can have a home base in Shanghai, that would break up my trip like really good. So I was like, Shingo has the infrastructure there. We get along really well. I respect the hell out of him. We're different enough that we could bring different things to the table. So I said, Shingo, we should open a bar together. And he was kind of taken aback because no two bartenders that were accomplished as bar owners with a portfolio in their own right ever really came together like that. So I convinced him, and he said, all right, I'll get back to you. And then in 10 days, he had a space and a contract. And he said, all right, this was like in May. It's like, all right,
Is the
we open in
Japanese
October.
efficiency.
Yeah, we open in October.
You were like, I just asked you if
I
you
was like,
wanted.
fuck, okay. But it came kind of naturally. So we asked each other, hey, let's just come up with a list of names. And we did a shift in Japan once, and they call us the Odd Couple. Which, if you don't know, the Odd Couple was an old TV show
Okay.
back in the day.
All right.
Yeah, it's a New Yorkers, a couple of New Yorkers. So one guy, they were like both like divorced guys that were forced to live in an apartment together for through something.
Okay.
But one guy was like super clean and like well put together, and the other guy was like kind of a slob, like
Okay.
smoking cigars inside, putting his feet on the table. The other guy was
Okay.
wearing suits, And
Guess who is who?
well, I'm from New Jersey. He's from Tokyo, so just I think everyone knows who's who. Just even if you don't know who I am, you could just look at me. So the Odd Couple was really funny, and that was the only one that was on both of our lists, the Odd Couple. So we're like, all right, that's the name, the Odd Couple. And then I'm thinking, Odd Couple's great. Let's do a menu that has like one flavor or sensation, and then have a drink Shingo style, a drink my style. Shingo's style, of course, is very delicate and very beautiful. There's notes in there that are on your taste buds that you don't even know are there. Mine are pretty straightforward, big, bold, higher ABV, and
Definitely.
more classic,
Yeah.
And it was nice, and I figured everybody that buys a drink will get two at least.
Yes. I
They'll
mean,
get me and him. They'll compare the two. They'll have their favorites. So
yeah, I mean, it's impressive what you've been building together, and I've been lucky enough to be in there a few
yeah.
times, and
Well,
I love it.
the bars look, and it's a lot different too. It's like bright lights, right? So the concept behind it, the story behind it, is that we were both born in 1983.
Okay.
So it's like, what if we have this bar that is like, it's like a futuristic bar, but from an 80s kid's perspective. So it's like, what if a couple kids in the 1980s developed a bar in 2018?
I see.
So we're limited by the 80s technology, but we're making like futuristic cocktails in a fun 80s setting. We weren't doing like throwback, like, hey, we're just gonna make all 80s drinks. It's like, nah, that's whack.
It's not just childhood shit.
No, we're making futuristic cocktails
Yes.
in an 80s setting, and just a loud atmosphere, open late. And
I see.
but the plan all along was to like open a bar that had two separate bars, a high volume bar with Shingo's sit down only cocktail den. But the Odd Couple space, it was in too good of a section of town, and it was only able to have one bar. So that's why we split up the menus like that. And the bartenders are great. They get this wild training. They get training from me and training from Shingo. So you've been there. You see Roger running the show. He'll be at my station, right, that has the Boston mixing glasses, and the free pouring. And he'll just go there. He'll free pour a cocktail, and then he'll walk over to Shingo's station and use the Japanese style with the Japanese three-piece. And it's really cool that they can bounce from one station and one style to another.
Yes.
And that's what I really think is important as a bartender, is to have like a lot of different styles at your disposal,
There is no one right way to do it,
Oh, of
or
course
the
not.
wrong way. There is like it's a universal
Yeah,
opportunities to
I
show.
can work dive bars, I can work nightclubs, I can work high volume cocktail bars, I can work fine dining. It's like, it's important to learn and use these tools. The knowledge you have are tools for like whatever venue you're going to open. Not every venue is treated the same when it comes to the style of working. Not every market is the same. So I think the more styles the more effective you can be as a complete bartender.
And then you find what is aligned you to.
Yeah, I mean, I've been with Employees Only family for 18 years now, and that's one style of working which I love so much, and I mean, it's super unique even to this day. But if that's all I did, then I would consider myself a really good employee. I wanted to be a really good all-around bartender, so I always trying to learn different styles, from flair to jiggering to stuff in the kitchen to kind of everything. I want to learn everything as much as I can. I can't use many of that stuff at EO because it has its own style. But that's kind of like, I don't want to just be good at one place. I want to be good at a lot of places.
Sure.
That's just me too. From the first time I made a drink, I told you I kind of wanted to own the bar.
Well, that's and seems to be you're doing quite well now.
Yeah, but it's I know we're going all over the place here, but when I was at Employees Only, that's my first taste of like the type of mentorship I needed at the time. And it wasn't just from the founders, it was from my fellow bartender colleagues who were pros. Like it was the big leagues. It's when I stepped into Employees Only for the first time, I felt like I was around professionals, and that elevated my game. I had a lot of knowledge in the speed and the dive bar speed competition stuff. I was making my own ingredients over in New Jersey. It was kind of small time. But then when I got a chance to work at Employees Only, and I found the founders were bartenders themselves, I was like, wait a second, they've done what I want to do. So let's see what they got going on. So I was able to kind of start from scratch again and really learn this business from the folks at Employees Only. I was lucky enough to work my way up there to be the bar manager, and that's kind of when my career sort of took off. And that's when I started to I guess, gain popularity as I gained experience and made a lot of
Internationally
money.
traveling the
I
world.
made a lot of money, saved a lot of money, was able to open my first bar 9 years ago.
Your dream,
Yeah.
your dream. And what it means for you, mentorship.
It's very important, but I've taken a different approach these days to mentorship. First, a lot of my mentors, I learned a lot of things. I learned a lot of things to do. I learned a lot of things what I shouldn't do, and how I learned what type of mentor I wanted to be by learning from my mentors. And not all of it is aligned, but I have aspects of things that I've learned from everybody, and that's kind of created my own sort of vision of what I think the bar world is. And for me, I don't advertise myself as a mentor to anybody. I have a lot of bar teams and a lot of people that I have been training and working with and watching them grow and helping them grow and giving them a platform to grow on their own and being a safety net of sorts. I like other people calling me a mentor, but I hate calling myself one. It just gives me added responsibility that I really don't want.
But look,
It's like
but look, if you don't want it or you want it, you have it.
But also, once you say that you're their mentor, you kind of owe them something. You know, you owe them something that again, I
do.
just don't think. So what I was offering when we opened up Sip and Guzzle here, which has been super successful, and it's been a dream job of mine. It's finally the bar that's my high volume bar. Then Shingo's downstairs. When I offered a job to people, I've had a personal relationship with all my bartenders already, personal or working relationship. I offered them a job and a platform. I didn't offer them, hey, come learn from me. That's given. You know what I mean? Like, I hate dangling the carrot.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, you come and learn. You come and learn. It's like, yo, how about I give you a really good job, you know?
And I give you a platform to
you
shine.
do whatever the heck you want with it. And if you need me, I'll be here. Like, that's it. I think that's fair. Like, there's none of this, hey, come work for me. You learn from me. It's like, then all of a sudden you got to now, you have to do something else. Like, no, it's like, I'll give you a place where you can work a really good job. I'll work next to you. And if you need anything, you let me know.
You mentioned Sip and Guzzle. We're going to go through that in a moment. But how do you choose your people to work with? What is really important for you?
I choose my bartenders a lot based off of their personality. First of all, how they understand me is important, especially if I'm working next to them. If I'm not working next to them, because I work full time, I'm the full-time bar manager here. But if I'm hiring for a place that I'm not going to be at, I might look for different skill sets. But if I'm working next to somebody, it's like, I'll be able to work with you, no problem. Like, I can work with anybody. And for me, it's about do they have my sense of humor is really important too.
Yes. It's really
I'm fucking crazy back there, man. I'm telling you. So it's like, but it's all out of good fun.
I remember some episode in between us.
It's all out of good fun, but it's like, I have a distinct sense of humor that it takes a certain type of crazy to work next. Not too crazy, because you don't want too many crazy people in one room. You need some straight-laced people there.
It's a team, right?
Yeah, of course.
Everyone has to have their own role. Huh?
Yeah, if you have too many, too many crazy people there, that's much.
You can run the business,
can
you?
Yeah, you need one straight-laced, quiet one, a couple funny ones, a couple popular ones, one angry one. You need one angry bartender.
Always. There is someone to take a piece of.
No, anyone. If you have more than one angry bartender, then it's just toxic atmosphere. You need the one grumpy, but he's got to be like a lovable grump.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, for me, it's I always go into a new project. I'm like, I'm gonna get the Avengers, and then I always end up with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah.
Yes.
It always happens, and I always think it's I don't know. I always think it's a variety of reasons, and then I just look in the mirror at the end of the day, and I'm like, this is why.
Yes, this is why.
But I'm super proud of everything we've been able to do, and the team at Guzzle is the collection of them are they're my favorite people in the world right now, and and they will be for a long time. I guarantee you that. Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah.
I really love the fact that you just mentioned about the Odd Couple. It was a bar that you wanted to do. You done it. You couldn't do for the structure of the place, I guess,
Yeah.
like upstairs, downstairs, or vice versa. But now you managed to make it.
Yes.
With Sips and Gazo is a really full experience of Steve Schneider and Shingo Gohan.
Yeah. Well, so Shingo and I back in 2019. So this was a year after we opened the Odd Couple. We were here having lunch at my place in Hoboken, and he came up with the idea of doing a place in New York. And he said, "I want to open up a version of the SG Club in New York. The SG Club is his spot in Tokyo. SG stands for Sip and Guzzle. Wink, wink. You know, that's
Now you know it.
yeah, of course. It doesn't stand for Shingo Gokan. It stands for Sip and Guzzle. So he's like, would you be interested in taking Guzzle, making it your own, making it more of a New York bar, and just kind of running with it? In Tokyo, the Guzzle bar is the first bar you walk in. It's more casual, but it's very much still a Japanese bar. And then downstairs is a bit more buttoned up at Sip, a bit more, more adventurous cocktails, I guess, where Guzzle is a bit more casual.
Okay.
So he's like, can you take Guzzle and make it more New York? Do your style. And of course, I said yes, because I was there in New York, you know, based in New York at this time, but then popping over to Asia, popping over to Panama, doing a bunch of things. So I would love to be anchored in New York. And coming back home after being gone for a few years sounds great. COVID happened, but then during COVID, we found the space on Cornelia Street, which used to be the Cornelia Street Cafe, a place that I used to go to. And Cornelia Street Cafe had a cafe upstairs, and then downstairs was a performance venue. And a lot of people performed there before they were famous, a lot of poetry readings. It was like an artist hub. And
it's like a stand-up, used to be stand-up.
I don't know if they did stand-up nights. I'm sure they did. A lot of poetry, open mic stuff, music.
Okay.
I never attended a comedy show there, but I'm sure they probably had it. So we got the place during COVID, and then obviously the build-out took a very long time because of COVID. I couldn't even get a fucking PlayStation. Never mind charred black Japanese shipwood. I couldn't get that either, you know?
Nothing
Where
or
can you
whatever
find-
you dream of.
Yeah. I just wanted a PS5, you know, and I'm like, I couldn't even get that.
I want to stay home with it. Just
Yeah, and it's like, well, we couldn't even get that shit. So it was hard to get materials, delays after delays, you know, contractor issues, the usual. But we stuck with it because I really believed in this dynamic between Shingo and I. I wanted to be his guard dog. I was always very much, during my EO times, very much alpha mentality, you know? And then I was like, I'm cool with being the second in command here. I'm cool with being the sidekick, you know?
Okay.
Because nobody respects Shingo more than I do. I always just loved what he brought to the table and how he went about business. And having talks with him about business, we share a lot of the same sentiments. So, we ended up finally opening January of 2024. We stuck with it. One of our partners, Justin, he sort of kept the project alive throughout all this time. He really believed in it, and he went and became our general contractor, and he stood outside in minus 17-degree weather, getting signatures and stuff for people to open up. I did all the legal stuff.
Because you needed to get the approval from the community.
From the community, which is a pain in the ass these days. So it was just one hurdle after another on a back end side that Justin stepped up. He'd never done this before too, so he had a lot of learning on the fly. And that was never my area. Was the back end ownership stuff. I'm always just a partner in a lot of these ventures. I have 8 places where I'm either a shareholder, operator, and investor, something. But I always have partners that I work with that are capable. So I have many different partners in many different groups.
Sure.
So So I told you I can work with a lot of people. So
Yeah, no, I
it's a
mean,
big partners with freaking 6-7 different groups of partners. It's hard.
that's what I want to know about it, because maybe you can share us like your point of view, because you start really like from zero,
Yeah.
and where you are now. When I say you are a mega entrepreneur, I see you like up to you, because I'm like, I know how it is to run your own business,
Yeah.
and I know the ups and downs and the challenges that you have to go through. How hard has been for you, and how do you manage those
Well,
8 businesses that
I think this
you
goes
run
back
around
to
the
the
world?
military now. It's about being a good teammate, a good partner, and it's not always my way. It's a business of compromise. I can have an idea on how to do things, right? But if I have a partner and they have an opinion or an idea, I sometimes have to let it play out. I can disagree, but you have to respect your partner's wishes sometimes. Unless it's something completely egregious, but like
that you can, yeah, of
yeah,
course.
that like that's gonna
We're not gonna serve cocktail, just still
no,
water.
yeah, no. But if just little ideas here and there, it's like I realized in the business too that I mean it might not be the case with a lot of places, but you're open hopefully for a long time. And like employees only Singapore now. We just turned 9 this last weekend from the time we recorded. It's a completely different bar now than what it was 9 years ago. It evolves. It changes over time. You have an idea, you got to go for it. Let's just see if it works. What's going to happen, Obviously, these are like little changes along the way, little ideas, like the reservation amount, reservation times. It's like, whatever. You want to do it this way, let's do it this way, and let's just change it along the way if we need to. Like I've become a lot more
Mature.
tolerant, mature, and just understanding. I know what works, I know what doesn't, but I'm willing to try something new, because what's the worst that can happen? Like, I know how to fix it at this point. And what's that?
No, probably you're also curious to know where it's lead you to.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like I'm a partner in these ventures as well, I don't bear the brunt of the entire business. We all do it together. So I have usually a percentage on the smaller side, and I have the responsibility that's also on the smaller side. I'm very good bar manager. I'm very good at inventory control. I'm very good at training a team. Very good at coming up with menus, really, like conceptually menus. Maybe not every cocktail, but the concept behind the menu. Because for me, the menu is more than just a list of drinks you offer. It's got to have some sort of vision and direction. So I have a pretty big imagination. So I like to use that to my advantage, and I like to think that I'm unique in that aspect, and I think I look at myself in the mirror and I have the confidence that I'm one of the best that can do that. And that's how you have to sell it to other people as well.
If you believe it,
if you want to, if you're looking for investors, if you're looking for partners, you have to bring something unique to the table. You just can't be some average, ham and egger. You need. This is why I'm the best at what I do, and this is why we should partner up together, and this is why we're going to make money. And for me, when I get involved in projects, I take a look at the potential for sales and profit and everything else, and I think, is it worth my time? How much am I getting? Do I have to put any money in? How much time do I need? The time is the most important thing at this point, because I don't have much of it. So is this worth my time? And I'd like to make a certain amount of money passively, per year, per month, per quarter. That makes it worth my time. And it's not that big of a number. A little bit here, a little bit there,
Absolutely.
8 places. It's not like I'm 100% owner of 8 places and I'm sitting there on the phone like a day trader all day. No, yeah. No. I'm a partner in some capacity in 8 different venues. Some do better than others. Some have better years than others, but they kind of all balance out. I got some friends that are sole owners of their places, and they have a lot of responsibility, but they do it all in one shot right there. For me, I like to sort of bet on a bunch of little things.
Of course.
Yeah.
Put a chip here, a chip there, a chip,
It's worked out for me.
Fantastic.
And again, it starts out with just being an able and willing partner and teammate, and respecting other people's opinions. And at the end of the day, you go in, you work hard, the results, you can't hide. The results will show.
Yes.
If you're really good,
yes,
the results will show if you know what you're doing. anybody can I can bullshit you right now and tell you I can do all this stuff, and then we get into business together, and you're like, oh, this guy can't do shit.
What did you bullshit me for?
But it's very easy to sell these days. It's very easy to sell yourself to people.
Sell and run.
There's so many bars opening. There's so much knowledge out there. I mean, you could probably use AI to come up with a menu at this point.
Absolutely. But it will not have a soul, and it will not have a connection with your guest. It will not create an interaction, and there will not be like the stage where you make them feel. I think like one of the key from, being in a bar and being working a bar and owning a bar is how you make people feel.
Yeah.
And that is so important. The other day when I popped by a Sips and Gazer, the first thing you said to me is like, I got a new drink and you need to try. And I loved it. And that is what I remember. But the fact that how you did it, you just grabbed me. You took me through whatever you discovered, like probably a few weeks before or a month before.
Was it the tomato bomb?
Yes.
The tomato bomb. Okay, well, that ruined my life.
Tell us everything about it because it's amazing.
I came up with it 4 weeks ago to the day of this recording. Me and one of the barbacks, right? He's this big, strong guy from Texas, He can drink. He also works over at Attaboy. He's hilarious. And he's fucking awesome. We have little beers during the shift, little, 6-ounce little beers as we go. But then I had the bright idea to put a little tequila in it too, just to hurry this shit up a little bit, The problem is we still have the same amount of beers, though. So now you have the beers and the tequila, and that's never a good.
The equal part.
It's never a good sign. Yeah. So we have this sun-dried tomato-infused tequila that we make like this, sun-dried daisy. We call it. It's like a tequila gimlet, pretty much, with like saline, and tomato tequila is really good. So I put that shit in there, a little squeeze of lime, sprinkle of salt, and a shot of tomato whiskey, right?
Yeah,
so you have tomato tequila rather, tomato tequila. Salt, lime, and then you have the little beer. Drop it in, smash it, and I was like, this is the best thing I've had in a long time.
I'm telling you, it has been my best cocktail.
But now I'm working on it so that it's not so strong,
No, don't work on it. Leave it like how it is, please. Leave it like how it is. We love it.
No. So the tomato bomb, I took it to Singapore, gave it to everybody. They loved it. So now I'm doing it, the beer in the little rocks glass, and much like I remember when the Jaeger bomb was created.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it was almost a full can of Red Bull and a massive shot of Jaeger. But then as it progressed, it became the little plastic cup that had the Jaeger. It became a smaller, more normal shot eventually, as far as
just
alcohol
like
and
a
energy
beer.
drink content. Yeah. So now I'm learning in these 4 weeks
how to
manage it and not get so crazy. But it is a really good, fun shot thing, and a little bit juvenile, but. Hey, if you,
please,
I'm trying to stay young. If you got to stay young, you got to stay young in the head too.
I mean, your bar team seems to be really young, all of them, right?
Well, yeah. So going back to the bar team, we have a great mix of young people and a handful of veterans as well. I believe that's super important.
To balance out the both.
Yeah, I told the bartenders, listen, I don't need you to do anything other than be yourself. I hired you for you. I like you for who you are as a bartender. Don't try to be me. Be you. I try to keep it within certain parameters. Like we all have the same style, right, of working. But as far as personality goes and the way you like to bartend, the way you like certain things, I'm like, just go for it. Be yourself. And the veterans really stepped up in that regard because they brought many years of their experiences and we can share together. Experience. Ultimately, I make the final call. I told them that too, because when you deal with a lot of veterans, a lot of them have a lot of opinions, and I made it very clear from the beginning, and they were super cool about it. It's like, hey, listen, I value your experience, I value your opinion, but I got to make the final call. And when we first start, let me go do my thing first, and just do.
Watch. Understand.
Just do me first, and then as we get used to each other. I'll be more open to listen and change. So it's respecting their years that they put in, but you need structure in business and you need a leader at the bar that everything's going to filter through this leader because that's how you maintain accountability. And a couple veterans, a couple young kids as well, people that are eager, You can't have too many people competing, or too many people that are are too many something. You know, you need a nice balance. You need the workhorses as well. People that just want to kind of clock in, want to clock out. You know, you need some of those. Super important.
Yeah, you need
Yeah.
a bit of.
You can't have all extroverts. Some people are introverts. You throw them on the service bar, right? And they just watch them crank out drinks, you know?
Yes.
And
Yes.
just, and they're super happy doing it, you know?
What is the best advice that you received over those years of bartending that you pass it on to the young kids coming and knocking at your door at Sips and Gas? Or like, I want to work with you.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you the one thing, you know? Because, like, that's one thing about working with other people and trying to train and teach is, like, I didn't write it all down. It's like, it's up here, you know?
Sometimes you feel it.
And you feel what they need at the time, you know? But for me, it's just, I never like to overcomplicate things, you know? I don't like to overthink things to make it overcomplicated. Really simple. The guest comes in, keep your head up, you know, while you're working. Guest comes in, greet him right away. You keep your head up, you see when someone needs a drink next. You keep your head up, you see when the bar is dirty. You see when you need to refill some water. You can't do that shit if you're not looking. When you're shaking, when you're stirring, your head should be up because you got nothing else to do.
Create a connection. That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, don't look at the ceiling. No, just be there, be present, be aware. Hold yourself up high when you're walking, when you're talking. Be confident. Not arrogant, but you know, if you see a bartender, you know when you walk into a bar, if a bartender knows what they're doing. Usually it's their confidence, the way they move, the way they talk, the way they carry themselves. They carry themselves like champions. And I think that's most of the job is the way you carry yourself behind the bar. Like, you know what the fuck you're doing is really important.
Do you think that the success that Sips and Gazo received is because of your team?
Oh, 100%. It's everything, you know. Aside from, you know, when I say guzzle earlier in this whole podcast, I mean Sip and Guzzle. Guzzle's the bar that I oversee. Sip is Shingo's bar, and they have just a amazing team in their own right, you know. But I don't really work with them on a daily basis, side by side. But the head bartender down there, Ben, he's been doing amazing things. He was nominated for Tales of the Cocktail Award this year. He's a younger guy that has experience, and his finger is on the pulse with the bar industry, you know? He knows everybody. Me, I know a lot of the old guard. I don't really know a lot of the younger people, so it's been cool to meet a lot of the younger people. I gotta be honest, I went into Sip and Guzzle with this attitude that, oh my God, I'm gonna be working with young people again, and just had this big like negative kind of stigma about young people. And then it turns out young people are funny as shit. They're funny.
Cool.
Yeah, they're actually really cool.
They're cool.
So I was like, so these young people that I have working with me, they're keeping me young because, like, it's been so fun. Every now and then I throw a back in my day thing, but I'm not that really
making, like, you know, too much.
No, you know, like some older bartenders, they're like, well, everything we did was better. You know, they're like, you know, they're like I'm not that guy. I'm like super open to the younger bartenders because it's just fun to see where the industry is now. You know, some old bartenders I talk to, and all they are is just bitching to me about how bartenders are not doing this day.
They don't understand what I mean with
that. It's like, you know, it's like they were talking about, you know, there's not as much education as when we were. I was like, yeah.
Appreciate the good side of it.
Well, no, I said, well, you know, you didn't train them right. I don't know what to tell you, you know? Or I say, education, honestly, it's important. Like, I'm talking about product knowledge education. It's important, but it's a lot easier to come by these days, which I think is why you don't have to remember a lot of this shit. You can ask your phone anything at this point and get more education.
Yes.
So I think education is, and customers are more educated as well. The guests are more educated.
They're cocktail lovers.
Yeah, so
they
it's
know.
like, yeah, so they don't, you don't need to really teach them about too much stuff. What they want is a good drink and a good vibe. That's what I think.
Yes.
At least my guests are like that.
I agree.
They don't need a lecture from me. They don't need a fucking lecture. I tell them a couple good jokes. I make them feel good. I make sure that they're seen, make sure that they have all the stuff they need, make sure that they get food and drinks, and, like, that's good. That's all we need.
That's
Yeah. But yeah, I forgot where we're going with this, but yeah, that's my
No, I
That's
think you
how I
answer.
feel.
No, I mean, like, I think you answered fully
Yeah.
what I was saying. My question is like, you have such a long experience in this industry. As you said, I belong to the old guard,
Yeah.
right? And I feel that old guard too.
Mhm.
Um, where do you think, like, have you ever thought about your own legacy? What you're gonna leave to the next generation of bartenders?
I did when I was younger.
Yeah.
I had these dreams, I don't want anybody to make a move without asking me first. But as you get older, your priorities switch, and for me, it's more about family and, um,
Ah,
getting old and still doing what I want to do. Listen, 20, 22, 23 years, high volume bartending, it takes its toll on your body. When the lease is up at Sip and Guzzle, I'm going to be in my mid 50s. Do I still want to work high volume? Right. So for now, all the money I just bought a house, so that I'm good there. But now all the money I'm making, I'm reinvesting in other people, in other bars or in other little projects. It's like, for me, I think about the next 10 years, really.
sure.
Instead of
The
what I'm
long
going to leave
term.
behind, I'm thinking I still got half a life left, hopefully. And if you want to take the bar industry seriously, you have to look at it as a profession. It could only be a fun learning art thing for so long. But for me, as I get older, I'm thinking more, how could I maintain steady income, security? How can I
Of
grow
course.
old in the industry? So I'm not just like 45 years old, can't bartend anymore, don't want to bartend, and what am I left with? You know? And then go switch careers. I don't want to do that. I want to develop something that I have and that I own and that nobody can take away from me.
Wow.
So for me, in the next 10 years, I'm trying to maybe transition out of the bars, like out of any new bars in the next 10 years. I just bought my second house, right?
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm investing in a couple bartenders now, as I'm still a working bartender. I still have a lot of steady income coming, have a lot of investments out. Hopefully in the next 10 years, all these places and all these investments are coming in at the same time, and I'm just going to reinvest in more houses. That's what I'm looking for.
Passive income. We
in
like
my
that.
in my 50s. Yeah, I'm trying on the real estate side of my life, buying, selling, and renting. I'm trying to end up making passively kind of what I'm making here.
Of course.
And
Yes.
at least something kind of similar. And it's gonna take a lot more time, but I think from my 50s to 60s and then finishing out, I hope all the bars
I've done my
but
part.
I hope all the bars I have and I'm a partner of, I can still be a part of. But as I get older, I probably get a transition into more of on the real estate side of things, and maybe even commercial real estate and owning the buildings that the bars are in. And then
Yes, it would be fantastic.
And it's not out of the realm of possibility. It can happen. It's not. I know people have done that. It's not a crazy aspiration. You just need to know how much it's going to cost. You got to have a little bit of know-how. Start small. Have the right investments. Believe in yourself, and show up to work every day and earn it. I show up every freaking day, Luca. I'm at work. I'm there. I'm working the job.
I'm
you
sure.
know?
I'm sure.
And I'm taking that money and I'm trying to be really smart with it and put it in sort of things and ventures that is going to make me money back. So it's going to work for me. I'm still working for money, but on the other side, I have my money working for me too. And it's all kind of growing and accumulating. And I'm just then taking a chunk of that, putting it over here. Hopefully you get a little bit back. And as time goes, your portfolio grows. And then that's how
Stability
you retire.
become a reality.
That's how I can comfortably retire.
Folks out there, listen carefully. Listen carefully. Do the right things with your own money, not just shot and stuff around.
Well, yeah, but it has to be. Maybe when you get started, passion can fuel you. I think that's great. That's what it did to me. Passion fueled me, man.
I was about to ask, what does it feel you to just like have this level of passion that you are sharing?
I told you the first bar I worked at, the bar in DC, the shitty bar. I worked there because I felt happy and I loved it. I wasn't making much money. In fact, some days it'd cost me more money to get to work than I'd make. But I did it because I loved it. But then the goal was, okay, you love it. How can you make it a career? How can then you met an adult that did it as a career? Oh, let me listen to this adult. He's doing this as a career, right? And then you learn from him, and then he's like, okay, where can I go next? And everything you do, you should have a goal eventually that you go through. And then, but just know that during this journey, right, when you're going up, you're gonna fall down a lot. I can't sit here and say, oh yeah, 22 years, it was a piece of cake. Yeah, I just one thing after another. It's like, yeah, it eventually went that way, but I had a lot of hardships along the way.
What has
A lot
been
of
the hardest challenge you had to go through?
staying with it really physically, staying active, it's hard, man. Bartending, being of service to other people is mentally exhausting. But I think my sense of humor gets me through that kind of stuff too.
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but being of service to others requires a lot of mental energy, a lot of attention to detail, and that stuff mentally wears you down. And then not to mention the stuff, high volume bartending is tough on your body. So it's just a lot of that stuff.
How do you keep mentally stable and physically stable in
I
your role?
Thanks. I block out a lot of noise. There's a lot of crazy shit going on in this world. There's a lot of stuff in the bar industry that's going on. I block it. I block most of it. I block out the noise, and I take only the information. You know what I mean? There's a lot of bullshit out there everywhere, and it's just like the more you dwell on things, I think the tougher it makes things mentally and to achieve your goals. So I think once I was able to block out the noise, minimize my circle a little bit, and stop,
Super important.
getting involved in everything. It's just like, do it, like show up to work hard, be a good partner, a good employee, a good colleague, whatever it is. Just like go there, do good, be good, and
Do it with purpose.
Yeah, do it with purpose. Make some smart choices with your money, but take some risks, right? But don't be reckless. You can't be timid, right? But don't be afraid of shit. Like so that you have to balance out between when to be aggressive and risky, and when to be safe and kind of calm, and that goes in everything. And you'll make some mistakes along the way, but money comes, money goes. I just think you just constantly build relationships and be known as a reliable hand and somebody that people respect because of their work. You're gonna be all right. You can make more mistakes if you're good at working with other people.
Wow. Well,
because they pick you up and you pick them up. They pick you up. You watch your back. You grow together. You make your mistakes. It's like I made every fucking mistake you can make in this business, and I still continue to do it. But I'm surrounded by people that can pick me up when I fall, because they know when they fall, I'll be the first person to catch them.
Is there anything that you regret?
Fuck, I regret so much. You kidding me?
Yeah.
A lot of things I don't think I could share, but I regret a lot of things. Anyone says that they live with no regrets, I don't believe them. I think regret is a part of life. It's a part of growth. It's a part of learning. If you've ever said, "Oh, I wish I didn't do that," that's regret, my friend.
Simple as it is.
No regrets, but I wish I never did these 5 things. It's like
In your butt, there is everything.
Yeah. One thing, when you're a boss, right? When you're in a position of leadership, people listen to you. Like the people that work for you listen to you. There's no like throwaway lines. You can't just say some shit. You can't just promise something or say something or do something and then just forget about it. This shit sticks with you. Like certainly, like, as a parent, like the things you say to your kids is going to stick with them. And so you got to watch what you say,
Stick to your words.
Yeah, you have to stick with your words, but you also have to say, when you're giving advice to somebody, you can't just say anything that you want. You have to give real advice and know that it's going to stick with some people. You can't give bad advice to somebody because it might, fuck up their career, or maybe not fuck it up, but stunt their growth. It might do more harm than good.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I know a lot of mentors that they put on this sort of persona of who they want to be as a mentor.
who they want to be.
But what their actions, it doesn't align with their words a lot.
They don't match.
So so what you say, you got to follow through, you got to do, and you have to be like true to your word, and you really got to be that person, because eventually, if you like put on a front, and try to fake being a leader and a mentor or fake something, it's gonna come back to you. You can't be
It's
be
gonna
a phony.
fire back. Yeah.
So I believe in being real, being open, being honest. I believe in making mistakes, learning from mistakes, and growing. And I believe a lot in empathy like that. I think that's the basis of hospitality, is empathy and feeling bad for people that have made mistakes, and giving them an opportunity to redeem themselves. I think is really important.
Yes, indeed.
I believe failure is a part of growth and a part of success.
Yeah.
If I did everything right at all times, don't fucking listen to me, because because I don't know. I wouldn't know failure, like
you tell me.
you want to learn.
You tell me
you want to
about
learn.
it.
You want to learn from the guy who's fucked up a lot,
yes.
because he made the mistakes. Yeah. But I don't know. I'm getting maybe too philosophical here, but or maybe too
honest.
Yeah, I don't know.
You've been too honest, and it's great.
Too philosophical, too many cryptic messages, I guess. But just know that I believe just when you're a leader, you have to be honest with yourself and honest with your people and reliable, because people actually pay attention to you when you're in a position of leadership. So, yeah.
Well, with this, I think we're done for today.
Oh, we're not going to drink?
Yes, of course. We will now.
The most important. You Chris Pratt or you are Groot? Oh, no. I'm Star-Lord, 100%. Oh. Yeah. I'm Star-Lord. Everyone else is Groot on the team, actually. No, I'm just kidding. No, they the team I have at Guzzler is so fucking funny. They're the funniest group of people I've ever worked with. I don't know. We sort of hit magic there. And yeah.
You feel the magic.
I gotta go open the bar.